Hi, everybody. Our principle of design for this week is balance. Balance refers to the composition, the way things are arranged in a work of art so that they are pleasing to the eye, so that they are evenly distributed. So that could mean something that is symmetrical, where it is the same on both sides. It could be something that is asymmetrical, where it may have a heavier weight on one side, but there are still elements in another area to help balance that out. Or it could be radial balance, where it all just kind of radiates from the center. We've talked about that in our mandalas, where they are symmetrical all the way around. But our lesson this week is going to be through photography and food photography. So it's kind of like a modern day still life of what's on your table. But I want you to find something that has culture to it. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean culture as in, here's a sandwich in Paris. That's not exactly the kind of culture that I'm talking about, but this is referring to the culture of, the culture that's in Paris, not just that it's a French baguette, but that it's a sandwich. There's street artists out there, it's kind of a grab and go kind of thing. Here is one that refers to a culture that I feel like is rather unhealthy in the States and in my house, and it's the whole clean your plate kind of culture, where we had a party, we had a ton of cupcakes left over, and in my house, if they were to stay, I would continue eating them until they were gone, throughout the next several days or longer. And I really that's not the culture that I want to continue with my children, is that you have to eat it because it's there. So this symbol, this picture kind of represents a healthier lifestyle, living a life of abundance, that we live in a country that can throw away food. Um, you know, there's a lot to be said about that, but it is. Let's see some of the others that I think are fun in here. This is one that speaks to the heritage in my family. It is a long standing tradition for my grandmother's cranberry salad to be fixed at Thanksgiving. And she's no longer with us, but it is a tradition that I carry on, and one of my absolute most favorite foods. And so this picture has her recipe in it also, just to kind of speak to that culture of that tradition within my family. By the way, this app is called Padlet, if you're unfamiliar with that. If you've ever been to a teacher's lounge on a lunch day or a church potluck, that is a culture all to its own. So this is a potluck is what this one is. If you grew up on a farm or had grandparents on a farm like I did, this is a scene that is familiar to you. Also, this is another view of culture, and it's snapping beans. And so it's something that I had to do a lot as a child, having grandparents with big farms, and my parents canned a lot of food. So you knew how to snap beans. I feel like this is a representation of the American culture, not necessarily that it's American food, although it is hamburger and fries, just the fact that it's eating in a car, not at a table, on the run kind of thing. This is, I feel like, the American culture. Let's see, if you grew up in the South, this might be something familiar to you as well, a pot of ham and beans, as well as fried okra. So again, speaks to a type of culture. So I really want you to understand that culture doesn't mean necessarily I want a picture of, your Chinese food or a plate of pasta or something and say it's Italian, but what else goes with it? Here's one, this one's titled, He is Risen. This is, an Easter basket. It's a part of culture. So it's a part of culture here in the United States, but also, certain families, things that they grew up with as far as the whole Easter basket. The baby shower one, things that are pink in our country at baby showers represent little girls. So that is, again, a part of culture. Let's try and see if there's any Christmas cookies. Definitely a part of culture that I've grown up in. This is kind of a contrast against what's not really a part of the culture in Europe. This one's titled European Diamonds, just because I feel like I personally am a little spoiled having ice in my drinks. I'm a big fan of Sonic Ice. And so when traveling in Europe, it's a little bit trickier to find ice in your drinks. And anytime you do, it's like you've just found diamonds. So this is another picture that I feel like represents culture. One from my culture of my childhood, getting to lick the spatula, the paddle in the blender. Anyway, so these are just some fun ones. Like I said, different things that I feel like represent culture. So here's one on a train from Barcelona to France, getting to sketch, eating macarons. It's a part of a culture that I don't get to partake in frequently, but absolutely love it when I do. I feel like I'm an actual real artist living in Paris. Been able to do that some. So your job is to take a photo, consider the angle, consider the lighting, consider the background, but you're trying to convey an image of culture. And like I said, it's not necessarily talking about ethnic food, but what is that picture showing? What story is it telling? Culture is a lot of different things. Culture is not just where we're from, but it's how we were raised. It's who we are as a person, as a profession. It can be ethnic, but it can also be regional. It can be traditional. It can be celebrations. There's so much deeper that goes with culture than is typically taken when we say the word. So hope you have fun with this one. Take a lot of pictures, take them from different angles, get up close, get far back, play with the filters, have fun with it, and upload your best culture through food photography on our digital gallery. If you have a bunch, create a Padlet. It's kind of fun to see them that different way.